Hi everyone, it's Sue Plumb here to share another scrapbook process video with you. Today's layout that I am sharing was created for the Challenge Me, Challenge You series that I am doing right here on YouTube each month with my dear friend Gwen Wruck. Now each month Gwen and I challenge each other with one criteria, and then we both have to create a layout using both of those criteria. So this month Gwen has challenged me with a Christmas theme, and I have challenged her to use a stencil. Now, I have to tell you, Gwen has really lined me up for this one, and the reason Gwen has chosen Christmas theme for me is because she knows me so well, and she knows that creating Christmas pages is not really my thing. So this one was certainly a challenge for me. Now, I also know that using things like stencils and mixed media is not generally Gwen's jam, which is exactly why I chose STENCIL for her. So both of us are going to create a layout using both of those things. And I'm just giving you a quick run through here of the things that I am going to use on my page. So I am working with the Joyful collection from Cocoa Vanilla Studio because Cocoa Vanilla Studio Christmas collections really are the only ones that I use because Zoe's Christmas collections are beautiful. So I am creating a mixed media layout, and I am just laying down on my cardstock there a little bit of acrylic paint to start. Now I have chosen this colour because it matches so well with the papers that I had chosen to work with. And I'm also going to use some Distress Oxides, and of course I'm going to use my stencil, which is that one right there. Now that stencil is actually from Prima, and it's been in my stash a really long time. Now the reason I chose this stencil is because, not only because it's covered in stars, but every time I look at this stencil I think Christmas. It's very Christmas stars to me. So I knew immediately as soon as I saw these two criteria together, this was going to be the stencil I was going to use. So I am actually using my worn lipstick Distress Oxide there, and I'm just using a little makeup sponge, and I am just dabbing the oxide through the stencil just to lay some of those star patterns over the top of that acrylic paint that I've got down on my background. Now you can see that I stuck with those pinky coloured tones there because you can see those papers that I'm using are also those pink tones, and I was just going for really sticking with that same colour family and going with that tone on tone effect in my background. So I am going for a design with this page. I really wanted to add some strong vertical elements to this page, so I decided to use some torn pieces of paper and run them vertically down my page. You can see I've got that pattern there that's got the spots on it. I've got the plaid pattern there as well. Now I'm using those pieces with one straight edge and then one torn edge as well, just to add the texture down along one side, and I'm going to layer those over the top of one another, and as I said, I'm going to run them vertically down the page. Now, I also had this strip, which is actually a border strip from the cut apart paper in this collection that I had left over from a previous project. So I actually just fussy cut along that scalloped edge because I thought that that would look nice in this stack of papers that I've got going on. Now, in amongst those pattern papers, I have also tucked one of my signature elements, which is a paper doily. But this time I actually chose to go with a white paper doily because I thought that I didn't really want anything that was going to stand out too much in this stack. I wanted to add layers and I wanted to add texture, but I didn't really want to detract from the main event, which is the photos, and you will see those coming up soon. Now, the photos that I'm going to be working with are of my 3 children, and I took these photos on Christmas Eve. I took a photo of each of them with their Santa sacks that get laid out underneath our tree, and these sacks that the kids have are the ones that they have had all of their lives. So Brielle's sack is going on 13 years old now, and my boys' sacks are going on 10 years old. So you can see there's an individual photo of each of them that I took in front of our Christmas tree. As with a lot of Christmas photos, I find they're not the greatest of photos. I've just converted them into black and white. I didn't want to blow them up too big because they were taken at night. They weren't the greatest of quality. And what I decided to do with these photos was I wanted to mount each of the photos on a patterned paper tag. Now, you'll see where a bit of my colour theory comes into play here. You know that I've already chosen all of those pink tones for all of my background, and that was simply because I wanted to work with these green tones for the tags. Now, the tags that I'm creating, I use the A5 papers from the Joyful collection, from the A5 paper stack, and I've got that minty green plaid pattern. I've got a star pattern, and I've also got another little minty green paper there that's just got a little small leafy pattern on it. So I wanted to showcase each of these 3 different papers by I mounted the photos quite simply. These, as you can see, these were handmade tags. They're probably not exactly square. I didn't really care. I just wanted the effect of having tags on the page. So once I cut the first one and it looked okay, all I did simply was trace around it for the other 2 and then stick the photos down on top. I knew I already had the photos all the same size, and that was it. Oh, I also stuck on the little reinforcer stickers, the little hole reinforcer stickers. I just think they finish your tags off. They just make them look a bit more like a store-bought tag, a little bit more professional. It's just that little extra detail to finish it off. Now, I wanted to add some texture to these tags by using this twine. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you know I love to use baker's twine. When I use tags like this, I tie bows or just leave the strings hanging loose at the top of them. It just adds a beautiful textural element to the page. But this twine that I'm working with for this page, it's actually white and gold. And I have to tell you, it is not my favourite twine at all. The problem with this twine is that the gold thread in it, the metallic thread, it just doesn't have the same grip as the pure cotton thread. And it tends to unravel a bit. It's not, I don't use it often, but I chose it because it's got that little hint of gold in it. And I thought that would help bring a bit of a festive touch to the page. So that's why my twine is in such a mess. And you can see it's starting to already fray apart on those tags. I don't mind that it's coming apart. But as I said, it's just not my favourite twine at all. So this is the reason I already had this. I don't often start with a picture in my mind, but I knew I wanted to lay these tags sort of across the page and scatter them across the page. And because my photos were oriented so that they were sort of long and thin to fit on these tags, you can see why I went with those vertical elements on the background, just to carry that theming through. Okay, so I have found placement for my tags. The one on the left I've actually tucked underneath one of the paper layers, so it's tucked in amongst the paper layers, and then I have just layered the other 2 over the top of each other. So that was basically all of the main elements of my page, and now I am digging through looking for the supporting cast, for want of a better term. I'm going through looking for embellishments now. So I started off with the die cut ephemera pack, and I started to fiddle around with those, but I knew I wanted to use some of these beautiful puffy gold title stickers as my title. So I thought I better pull those out, see where they were going to fit, see how they were going to sit with the embellishments underneath them. And in the end, I'm really glad that I didn't go sticking those embellishments down before I checked the title, because it's that thin scripted font. I found that tucking the embellishments underneath the title, it just made the title too hard to read. So I was very glad that I hadn't stuck those little die cut presents down at the bottom where I had originally intended to stick them. I hope you followed all of that. So you can see that I've got those little die cut presents now, and all I decided to do was continue on that horizontal plane that I had there with the tags and just tuck them under the edges on either side. Now, I did use some foam tape under one of those presents just to give it a bit of dimension and separation between the layers, because I didn't want everything looking too flat on the page. Now, I'm pulling out a few other little pieces from the die cut pack. I had a little banner, I had a little flag, and I had a couple of other pieces that I'd put aside there, but I actually decided to switch to the chipboard sticker sheet because I really wanted to use up some of the things that were on this sheet. I haven't used a massive amount of this collection. I've done a few projects out of it, but I still have a good amount of it left. So, and because I do have a double of this chipboard sheet, I thought I might as well get stuck in and start using it up. So I've found a couple of little candy canes there, which also worked really well with that sort of vertical arrangement that I had going on, just because, you know, having them poking out at the top of the tags like that. You can see I've got my title in place down beneath the tags, and now I'm just going to build some embellishment clusters down around on either side of that title. So again, I went back to the chipboard sticker sheet. I found that sweet little bird with the Santa hat on that I thought I might as well sit on the left-hand side because he was facing in. And then I found that little squirrel holding a present, which balanced off the other side of the layout quite nicely. And I thought, when else am I going to be using these? I might as well use them up now. So I have my little animals down the bottom there. I found a few other bits and pieces on that chipboard sticker sheet. I think I stuck that little cluster of holly there on the corner of one of the tags. What else did I use from the chipboard sticker sheet? Maybe that was it. Anyway, I went back to the gold puffy titles. I pulled off some of the tiny little stars just to splash some more of that gold colour around the page. That tied in beautifully with the title, and it also tied in with the touches of gold from the twine that was on my tags too. What other embellishments did I use on this page? Okay, so right there, I was just fussy cutting out a couple of stars from that patterned paper. That was also from the A5 paper stack, and I chose to work with that paper because it had smaller scale stars on it. And all I really wanted, I only wanted 3 pink stars because, yes, I was working in my rule of threes again. Good old Anal Sue and her rule of threes. So I had a pink star up in the top right, sort of along the left there, and then one down the bottom. And that's all I used from that sheet of stars. Now, I went in with the sticker sheet. I'm adding a couple of phrase stickers down the bottom. I think I also add another one up the top. Yep, there I go. What else did I use from that sticker sheet? I'm not sure that I used anything else from that sticker sheet. I also pulled out, you'll see me pull out in a minute, the puffy sticker sheet, because these puffy stickers are so super, super cute. And, I've also got wood buttons. I think I obviously did the wood buttons first. So I'm actually adding a little bit of extra adhesive to the back of these wood buttons. I'm not sure what happened with the foam on the back of these buttons, but they didn't appear to be sticking to the backing sheet. So I thought I better add some extra adhesive to make sure that they didn't fall off my page. Oh, there you go. There's the puffy sticker sheet. Those puffy stickers are so cute. But they are small, so they do make an ideal embellishment just to add on to clusters and just build your layers. And you will see that I've added them over the top of some of the existing embellishments on the page anyway. So I'm just sticking in some leaves, another little present. I actually added that little word banner that said, "Oh, what fun," over the top of the bird. And yeah, as I said, I just kind of went nuts with lots of little embellishments on here. So there we go, Christmas theme and stencil. Oh, I'm also adding some splatters. So the other distressed oxide that I'm using there is cracked pistachio, and I just wanted to tie that in with that mint that was on the page. So I just mixed some up with a little bit of water, used my little brush, and added my splatters around the place. Excuse me, I've got a little bit of a croaky throat too. So there you have it, Christmas theme and stencil. What do you think? How did I do? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you go over to Gwen's channel and check out her layout for this challenge as well, because I can't wait to see what she's come up with this criteria. I know that Christmas is right up her alley. However, I'm hoping that the stencil part of this challenge has challenged her. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you've got any comments or questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments section below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you next time. Bye.